So I'm going to show you how to build a quick little carousel type deal. So I just started with a blank world, and what we're going to do first is we're going to start off with a platform. So I'm going to the blocks, I think it is, basic blocks, and I'm just going to use the raised platform, I think it is called. Vaulted platform, kind of for my, this will be the base of my carousel pretty much. Alright, so there's step one, the base of the carousel. Design it however you want. It's stationary, it's not going to move. I've tried many different ways to make this like spin, with it being a circle, any different shape, just it looks really odd doing it. So the best way is to have a stationary base and then have your whatever you got on your carousel to be the thing that moves, which the example I saw was teacups, so that's what we're going to go with. So we're going to go to ground vehicles or land vehicles, whatever it's called. Ground vehicles, and we're going to go to the teacups. And I'm going to put probably 4 teacups on here, so I'm going to go ahead and put them on the ground. There's 4. And the first main step is we're going to add a path, which is under Creativity Toys. And it's a green diamond. It would have been faster to go the other way, but we're almost there now. Well, alright. And if you notice, the first diamond, the first one that we put down is green. These other ones will be yellow. So you can design your path however you want. I'm kind of, sort of making mine a circle, but I'm not doing a very good job of it. It's pretty good. So you'll notice the first one's green, the others are yellow. The green is the primary one. Whenever we need to edit settings like speed and stuff like that, we'll go to it. So we're going to go to the properties of it. Like I said, there's speed if you want it looped, off, on, whatever. The main thing I like to do is auto start objects when connected. I always turn this off because as soon as you attach a teacup, that teacup starts spinning around. And it doesn't really give you much control as to the spacing out of them and such like that. What I like to do is add a power switch that starts and stops it so I can add them and see how it looks. So we're going ahead and setting that off, and that's the only settings that we have to edit on that for now. Alright, now what we'll do is we'll go to each teacup, and we're going to go to path connection and connect it to our green dot. I put the dot here because it's closest to the teacup, so it makes it faster to add it. And if you notice when we're adding these, our teacups are staying where they are. It's because we turn that on off instead of leaving it on. If it's on, as soon as you hit this right here, that teacup is going to start circling that map, or that little route. So we've got all of our teacups attached. Alright, now what I'd like to do is I'm going to add a power switch. Let's go this way. It's right after these. We're going to add a power switch to control it. That way we can space out our teacups and make it the way we like. So first we're going to new logic connection. When it's on, we're going to tell this teacup right here to start. And then we're going to go back to the power switch. New logic connection, off. We're going to tell this teacup to stop. Now I do it one at a time with this power switch because if you connect them all right now before activating it, if you connect them all and then activate this, they're all going to be stacked right on top of each other. So we're going to go ahead and start it, let it get a little bit away, and then stop. Alright, now we're going to go to our second teacup. And we're going to do, oh, actually we're going to the power switch, not the teacup. New logic connection, on, and then we're going to start the teacup. And then back to the power switch. New logic connection, off. And we're going to tell the teacup to stop. Now then we're going to go back to player mode and we're going to start the switch. Let it get a little bit away. About right there. And then stop it. Now we're going to go back to the power switch and connect our third teacup. And you can probably hear my cat meowing. She was being a pain while I recorded this earlier, so I had to lock her up. She kept jumping on the table and knocking the figures off the platform, so I couldn't really design the level. So I went ahead and locked her up. And then we're going to tell it to stop. Then we'll go back to character mode. And then once this last one gets a little bit away, I'm going to stop it so that I can add the 4th teacup. Actually, I need to let it go around again because it's sitting right there where it's gonna start on the green one, which is the one right under that teacup. So after this one gets away, right there. Now we're gonna attach this one. New logic connection. When it's on, start the teacup. Toy bath box, start. Back to the power switch, new logic connection. When it's off, stop the teacup. Alright, and honestly, that's it for this part. But I'm going to add a couple other things and show you some other things you can do. So we're going to turn it on. There's our teacups. They're going around. They look beautiful. They're spaced out fairly well. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and turn them off. Actually, I'll leave them on while we do this just to make sure. I'm gonna basically build a roof over our carousel right now, so I'm going back to the basic blocks. And I'm gonna just pick the default platform column things. And it looks like my teacups are gonna hit them. If it is, you can take those points and drag them in. I'm just gonna move this off a little bit, the edges. And I'm gonna do all of them like that. So, which is not going to hit any of them but that one, and it's closer to that corner than it is any of the other ones. And then I'm going to kind of build a roof for it, so I'm just going to get the flat blocks. Which I went the wrong way again, but that's okay. The large floor, and I'm just going to kind of, we'll start back here. And there we go, we have it roofed in. And I'm going to add a decoration to the middle, or actually I'll just add a tree since the trees are right here. I'm just going to put a tree in the middle of my teapots to show you can kind of design around them if you want. Which that one teacup hits it. Looks like I didn't quite space it out enough. So let me take this point and I'm going to pull it back. Now I can put my tree in the center. As you can see, they all go around. It stays the blue color, so it's not touching it. So you can design around it if you want. You can put trees around it, whatever you want. This is just kind of showing you can design around it. Now I'm going to go back to my basic blocks, and I'm going to add a little stairway, the pre-made stairs. I'm just going to butt up to that like that. Alright. And then people can walk up to the teapots. Well, I don't really like this switch. I don't want people to have to hit the switch to start or stop the teacup. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a character and we're going to put him right here by the stairs, and he's actually going to start and stop the ride. So let's see. She's the first one that was there, so Maleficent is going to be in charge of our teacups. As soon as you put her, you want to go to her properties really quick or she's going to kind of wander away. So go to properties and then give her some kind of behavior. I usually do yell, cheer, laugh, angry. She's Maleficent, so let's just make her angry. So, and then you may have to drag her back to where she was, because she, like I said, as soon as you drop her, she will wander until she has that property. Alright, so what we want to do now is we want to go to the creativity toys, and we want to add a... We're going to add some text, but we also need the dynamic trigger. And this is going to basically allow us to connect it so that when someone goes up to Maleficent, she will ask them, do you want to ride the teacups or do you want to start the teacups, whatever you choose to text. So we're going to the properties of the dynamic trigger. And we're going to change the target to actor because we're going to connect it to the Maleficent. Trigger distance 10 is pretty large. I like to do 3, so they have to like almost touch Maleficent or your character so that it activates it. So I'm going to set it as 3, new after connection, and connect it to her. I always have the hardest time connecting to these little guys. Alright, and she's now connected. And I'm going to just drag this out of the way for now. Alright, now then what we need to do is we need to add a text creator so that we can give her some text. So we're going to the creativity toys and text creator. It looks like a little keyboard, I believe. Yep. Alright, so we're going to go to it, and then we're going to go to the properties of it. And we're going to, text style is going to be a confirmation. So we're going down to confirmation. And we're going to type in a text. Like, I typed in something earlier and Disney didn't like it. I asked, would you like to ride the teacups? And it didn't accept it. So for the sake of the video, I'm just going to say ride. Reviewing by Disney. Accept text, sure. Okay. So now then, we have to tie that to the dynamic trigger. So dynamic trigger, new logic connection, entered, because when we get close enough to her, and we want it to be a player that gets close enough to her, any player, we would like for it to trigger our text 1. Alright. Now then what we need to do is, on the go to the text creator, new logic connection, text proposal accepted. We're going to turn on our power switch, and then text new logic connection again on it. Proposal canceled. We're going to turn it off. So we'll go ahead and exit out of this and give it a run. Alright, so we're going up. We went up to Maleficent. She asked ride. The ride starts. We go up to Maleficent. She asked ride. Which I didn't set her on the text. We gotta fix it because it did not we need to do a proposal. I don't think that I did confirmation. Okay, so do proposal, not confirmation, and it should work right now. Alright, let's give it a try. Let's let it autosave real quick. Okay. Ride. If I click the circle for cancel, the teacups will stop. If I go back to her, ride, and click X, they will start. And then you can go up here and you can get in the teacups and it'll circle you around. You can't really drive them or anything. You just basically ride the path that it's on. And then 0 gets out. And that's really it. You can design your blocks. Like I can go and change the theme of them all. Let's just theme them all as army since that's what's selected. And really that's it. And you can also hide these. You can take these and put them off the map so they're not seen, or put them. A lot of people put them under the world. Really, whatever you want to do with them, just so the players that play your world or whatever don't see it. And you can hide the power switch with it as well, since Maleficent triggers it. And that's really all there is. Thanks for watching.